This video talks about entering time on a weekly timesheet. The weekly timesheet is similar to the single activity form except that you fill in a week at a time. One person can fill out the weekly timesheet and associate the time spent with one or more jobs. So let's go ahead and do that. Go to Enter Time and choose Use Weekly Timesheet. Click the Name menu and you'll notice a couple of items here. If you are filling out timesheets for several employees or vendors working on the same job with the exact same hours, you could save time by choosing multiple names payroll or multiple names non-payroll. But this timesheet is for Boswell. For the date, QuickBooks uses the current week. But let's select January 21st, 2013. And click in the customer name field, and this is time associated with the Conway Salisa Install 2 Fountains job. And the first part of the job included some minor excavation, so we will choose the service item Landscape Labor. You could type any details or comments in the Notes field, and these notes can appear on invoices and in job reports. And if you track classes, choose the class, and we'll choose Fountain Installation. Okay, click in Monday field and enter the time spent on this job on Monday, which was 7.5 hours. So if you enter the time in hours and minutes like this, when you press Tab or click out of the field, QuickBooks converts it to the decimal format because that was our preference. And so Tuesday, the job took 6 hours and 15 minutes, and you could type the decimal value 6.25. If this time were billable to the customer, make sure there's a check mark in the billable checkbox. Now let's go on to another row. So each row represents one customer job service combination. So in this example, the first row was for the minor landscaping excavation, and the second row is for the actual fountain installation. So we'll choose our customer job, and for the service, fountain installation, and the class, fountain installation. And this took 8 hours on Wednesday. And that job is done. But if Boswell also worked on Thursday, Friday on a different job, you could choose that here and then enter the service performed and the hours. But this is it for Boswell's timesheet, so let's click Save and Close. So let's open another one, and I'll point out a couple things. If you usually work on the same customer job, perform the same task, and enter the same hours, you can copy the previous timesheet. So first select the customer, and that was Boswell. And if you click Copy Last Sheet, you could adjust the hours as needed and click Save and Close. I also want to point out something else. You can print timesheets so that employees or other workers can have copies of their timesheets for their own records, or so that they can give the timesheet to a manager for signature. If you have workers or subcontractors who don't have access to your QuickBooks, you can print a blank timesheet for them to fill out by hand. So to do that, you would open a new weekly timesheet. Let's just clear this instead. And go to the Print menu and choose Print Blank Timesheet. And after filling out a timesheet, if you wanted to print it out, just go to the Print menu and choose Print. Let's close this, and I'll show you another way to print. Go to the File menu, Print Forms, and Timesheets. Select the date range. So in this case, for Boswell's timesheet, make sure there's a check mark next to the person whose timesheet you want to print. If on the timesheet you entered some notes in that note field, you could select this to print out the full activity notes. If you just wanted to print the first line, select this. When you're ready to print, you select the timesheets you want to print Click OK. But I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to close. Okay, that's it for weekly timesheets.